Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
Are you sick of looking at Netflix and you don't know what to watch?
So many movies out there, you don't know which ones are good, which ones were bad.
You curious about what's out there?
I'm Joey Powers.
I'm Don Tretler.
This is The Best Pictures.
The ones you don't want to miss.
Hit it.
Say hello to my little friend.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Winners go home and the prom queen.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
I don't deserve this. Deserves got nothing to do with it. No sequel for you.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of The Best Pictures. I'm one of your hosts, Joey Powers.
And I'm Don Tretler. Welcome to the show.
Today is going to be Baseball Revisited Part 2. But first, I kind of wanted to talk about last night, the Oscars. The lowest ratings by far of all time. Not even close. Last year was like 23.8 million, and that was the lowest of all time. 9.85
Wow.
for last night's. By far, in a way. The Oscars, it's basically the Oscars and the Super Bowl are fighting each other every year over typically which one gets viewed more. But yeah, it's really dropped. That's a big decrease. And it was a big decrease last year.
You think it's got to do with the films themselves?
I don't know. The whole setup was just kind of, there were no live performances. A lot of films that were nominated for major awards didn't have clips to show. Honestly, it wasn't that big of a star-studded lineup for the Oscars.
Right.
There was, you had some past winners. You had like Regina King was there. Laura Dern was there. Joaquin Phoenix presented the final award of the evening. But a lot of people were on location. Like Sacha Baron Cohen and his wife were in, I want to say, London.
Oh.
Because he was nominated for supporting actor and for screenplay for Borat. Supporting actor for Chicago 7 and then screenplay for Borat. But there are a lot. Anthony Hopkins, who was the big upset winner. Sorry, I didn't mean to spit on you. Big upset winner of the night, winning Best Actor when I think pretty much everybody thought it was going to be Chadwick Boseman.
Right.
He didn't go because of COVID protocol, but also he admitted he didn't think he was going to win.
Right.
So it was like, I don't really have to go, because they had limited seating. Like, they didn't have,
right.
They had like pairs and like groups and stuff, and then they had separate. It wasn't a typical Oscar show whatsoever. Nomadland was the big winner. The director, I can't pronounce her name, even if I saw it on here, I wouldn't be able to pronounce it. Won Best Director. Frances McDormand won Best Actress in a lead role.
For the third time.
Yeah. And Nomadland took home Best Picture. Daniel Kaluuya, won Best Supporting Actor. And Best Actor, like I said, went to Anthony Hopkins, which was a big upset, and he wasn't there, so apparently Joaquin Phoenix just accepted it on his behalf, and I guess that's how the night ended, So I guess it was a pretty big surprise, but from the few reviews that I read on it, no one had anything nice to say about the ceremony.
Right.
Like they said, they did say that Regina King opened it, and she presented the first 2 awards, and they thought she did good, but they pretty much said that it all went downhill after that. Like, it was just because there was no host, and they tried to change it up, and it just did not work.
Yeah.
I was bored. I think that's part of the reason why I fell asleep, because I'm like, how can they make this 3 hours when there's not even half the normal size crowd there? It's like, you got to do something to, like, make it a little more fast-paced, especially when you're not having any like musical performances. So, I don't know.
That's true. That's what I read this morning too. Said it was kind of a flop.
Yeah, big time.
The ceremony.
Big time, and they put a lot of effort into it. They had a lot of different directors doing a lot of different things, and that could have been one of the problems too, having too many people having different inputs on stuff. But yeah,
could be. I think you and I talked about some of the nominations, and we didn't think it was a particularly strong.
No, not really.
Crowd out there.
Like I said, the one that I saw was the Trial of the Chicago 7, and I wasn't overly impressed with it. I didn't think on a normal year, I wouldn't think that would have been nominated for Best Picture. But you and Alex both liked it quite a bit. So, I mean, maybe that's just me. But yeah, there weren't like a lot of like big names that were nominated this year. Like last year you had like Joaquin Phoenix, Scarlett Johansson. You had some big names. Laura Dern
Right.
has been around for a while. But yeah, there weren't really a lot of big names. And I think that could have something to do with it. And
Right.
not like, in a year where there weren't, like probably none of these movies I would say were even released in theaters that were nominated. So
Well, I know Nomadland was.
Nomadland was.
So you could see that one in the theater. I don't know about the others.
I don't
You're
either. I want to say The Father was playing in limited release in a few locations. I don't know how many though.
That movie was on my. I have this list. I keep making of movies I want to see, and when I was going through it, I had it down 3 times.
So you really want to see that movie?
Yeah, so at different times that movie has come up, and I've written it. I said, "Oh, I got to see this," So I don't know when I first put it down.
Now, didn't we say when we went over the nominees that was the highest ranked on IMDb?
It was.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I want to say it was like 8. So I mean, that's pretty.
So in addition to Anthony Hopkins, it has Olivia Colman, who won the Academy Award
Right.
a couple years
ago.
back.
8.3 The Father got.
Yeah,
So that's pretty high. Is Jonathan Pryce in that too? I want to say.
I don't know, to tell you the truth.
I thought I saw his name in it. Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking of
He
something
might have been
else.
nominated. Now, what's the movie he was nominated for? He was with Glenn Close
Oh, okay.
in The Wife,
Gotcha.
which I'm surprised that wasn't nominated. That wasn't one of the 8 movies nominated for Best Picture.
No. Which, like I said, I don't understand why they don't. You can nominate up to 10. Why don't you just nominate 10?
Right.
I mean, why not? It doesn't hurt to give them more options, I mean, especially if there are movies that you consider to be worthy of being nominated for an Oscar. All right, I just want to see one thing real quick.
Well, it makes me curious. I'd like to see Anthony Hopkins' performance and see what it was. Because I did see Chadwick Boseman and thought he did a fine performance in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which, of the few movies that I did see, I think I liked that one better than Chicago 7 and Mank.
Really? And that wasn't even nominated for Best Picture, was it?
It was.
Oh, it was? Ma Rainey was? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so Jonathan Pryce was nominated last year for The Two Popes. I don't know why I thought he was in this. Because they were in The Two Popes together.
Right.
Right. That's why. Anyway, so that's our Oscar recap. You want to get going on some baseball?
Yeah, we should get back because we were talking baseball, and we couldn't even cover all the movies.
This is a cool book that I brought in for Don to take a look at and borrow. It's got a lot of cool, interesting pictures. It's definitely going to be fun for you to go over with.
Well, you know what's interesting? As I was thinking about us doing this show, because we've already done a baseball show this year, and of course we recapped some of our favorites.
Right.
I was thinking about decades, where back when I was a kid, you could watch baseball movies, but they were older. They were, the Babe Ruth story. I want to say Fear Strikes Out. I can't think of the one about Lou Gehrig is called.
Pride of the Yankees?
Pride of the Yankees. All the good baseball movies were all older movies. There was nothing really current. So they really, when we think about it and we look at our list, there's not a lot of baseball movies that are made in the 60s.
No?
If any. I don't know if I can pick out any. If there are any, it probably happened really early in the 60s. Even the 70s. If we were looking at the 70s, I would have to say off the top of my head, Bad News Bears, Bang the Drum Slowly.
Yep. I haven't seen Bang the Drum Slowly. Bad News Bears was good. I like the original with Walter Matthau. I didn't really care for the one with Billy Bob Thornton.
Geez, I don't even know if I saw the one with Billy Bob.
It's not very good.
Bingo Long's Traveling All-Stars, which at the time it was a black cast. It was I want to say James Earl Jones. Who played Lando Calrissian?
I don't know. I haven't seen that.
Billy D. Williams.
Okay.
It was all the big black actors of the time were in that movie. I think Richard Pryor's in it. it wasn't a huge hit at the time, but I mean, it does make the baseball list because supposedly it was a pretty decent movie.
Right. This is the one my friend George was talking about. Soul of the Game. Delroy Lindo, Michael T. Williamson, and Blair Underwood. Says black baseball greats Satchel Paige and Josh Gibson vie to be the first Afro-American major leaguer, only to see the outspoken rookie Jackie Robinson be chosen. I haven't seen it. I knew it was about Satchel Paige. I didn't realize it was Josh Gibson and Jackie Robinson too. It gets 7.4.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Good actors. I mean, I like Delroy Lindo and Michael T. Williamson and Blair Underwood. And Edward Herman, that's the neighbor from Tim Allen's show there, Home Improvement.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, Delroy Lindo, they thought for a while this year was going to get nominated for Best Actor for a movie.
Oh, The Five Bloods.
Yeah.
Had to be.
Yeah, and he didn't end up, was that Spike Lee?
Was.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that was the one. And he didn't end up getting nominated.
Huh.
And they thought it was a surprise because it seemed like for a little while he was a front runner.
That's true, yeah, because they were raving about his performance in the movie.
And he's a very, very, like I put him on the same page as like a David Strathairn, where they have good performances, but not lead performances necessarily in big movies, but they always get like overlooked because they're not the star, they're not the household name.
Right.
But he's been acting for a long time. One of my favorite performances he has of him in Get Shorty. Have you seen Get Shorty?
Oh, not in a long time.
Yeah, no, he's good in that. It's kind of a scumbag, but
I have to think what I've seen Delroy Lindo in. Was he in Predator? I don't even know.
I don't think so. That's a good question. I kind of want.
I know him, but I can't think of a movie that he's in. I mean, outside of Five Bloods, because I just saw that relatively recently.
Oh, how was it?
It's good.
Is it?
It's a good one, yeah.
Delroy Lindo. I want to say he's in that movie Clockers, which is another
right.
Spike Lee movie.
Right.
With like Harvey Keitel but yeah, I don't know a lot of stuff he's in.
I had just put Spike Lee on my list of trying to see any Spike Lee movies that I haven't already seen.
Have you seen Do the Right Thing?
I have.
That's a good movie. That's probably my favorite Spike Lee movie. I wasn't a big fan of He Got Game. I didn't really care for that too much. I went and actually saw that in the movie theater. You know, 'cause it's a sports movie. It's got Denzel Washington.
Right.
Ray Allen played the basketball player. He wasn't a very good actor. It was an interesting storyline, but I didn't care for it.
Yeah, I just noticed there were several of his movies. You know, he was really hot for a while, and I had seen every movie that he made. Spike Lee, yeah.
You know what I really liked, and of course we're not even close to being on topic. Summer of Sam.
Right.
Did you see that?
I did.
I really liked that.
He needs to make a baseball movie.
I mean, John Leguizamo's one. John Leguizamo's another one who I think is very underrated. You saw Chef, right? I let you borrow that. He's great in that.
He is.
You know, I mean, it's just, yeah. They don't get a lot of A Life Less Ordinary. Have you seen that?
No.
That's Ewan McGregor, Cameron Diaz, apparently Delroy Lindo. Oh, Ransom. Yep, I do remember him in Ransom. Broken Arrow. Yep, he's in Broken Arrow. I do remember him in that. He's like one of the captains. Crooklyn. He's in another Woody here.
That's one I haven't seen.
Another Spike Lee movie.
Yeah.
And Malcolm X. So a movie I was going to mention was Brewster's Millions.
Right, that's Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor. I want to say John Candy. It's essentially one of those movies where he's going to inherit all this money, but before he inherits the money, he has to spend X amount of money within 30 days to inherit the real money. You know, he's a AAA minor league player. You know, and he ends up falling in love with the attorney that's assigned to him for the will and everything like that. I mean, it's a corny movie, but it's worth a shot if you like Richard Pryor and John Candy.
Right.
You know, because I think most people probably do or did at the time, you know.
I think that's a team. It's about the Cubs, right? He's a big Cubs fan. That seems to be a team that's pretty romanticized. So they've made a lot of movies with the Cubs.
Is he an actual major leaguer?
I think so.
I thought he was a AAA for some reason. I haven't seen it since I was a kid. I don't know.
I think, wasn't Rookie of the Year about a kid? He's a Chicago Cub.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a romanticized team. I was trying to think about movies. They made a lot of teams but the Yankees, but that's because they had a lot of the all-time greats.
Great.
And
It's kind of hard not to make a movie about.
they won so many championships.
Yeah. One of probably the most storied franchise in professional sports.
Matter of fact, didn't they make, I don't think it's a film actually, but it was a mini-series.
The Bronx is Burning?
Yeah, did you see that?
Yeah, I own it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's during the 70s, during the Son of Sam, stuff like that. John Turturro, I want to say, plays Billy Martin. Oliver Platt plays George Steinbrenner. And I can't think of the guy who plays Reggie Jackson. I'd seen him in something, but he's not like he's not like a household name.
But he does a great job.
Yeah.
He did a great job as Reggie Jackson. So they had Thurman Munson
Yeah.
on that team too.
God, that's something I want to watch again now. I only watched it once, but it's really good. I got it for Christmas one year. What about The Babe? You saw The Babe recently.
Yeah, pretty good.
Did you like it? You thought John Goodman did a good job as Babe Ruth?
Yeah, I think at the time, John Goodman, I think at the time he was underrated. Right now, I think we've come to realize how good John Goodman is.
Yeah.
But at the time, he was on television.
Yeah, on Roseanne, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
so I don't think we thought too much. I think people thought, hey, a big guy.
yep. I think he that was right around similar time as King Ralph. So I think he kind of slowly got into doing movies, but he's doing more movies a lot now. I mean, obviously they're doing Roseanne again, but they changed it to The Connors because of all the controversy with Roseanne. But he was in like Argo. He was in the last Hangover movie.
Right.
So I mean, not the lead roles, but good supporting roles. And he has proved that he can do more than just comedy. Because Argo certainly was not. There wasn't a lot of comedy in Argo at all.
Right.
And he was great in that. I thought that cast in that movie in general was great. With him, Alan Arkin, Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's why we didn't think too much when it came out, because they were kind of commercialized, taking advantage of how commercialized he was, that they could put his name out there.
right.
But probably didn't expect what a good job that he did with the whole
Yeah.
thing. And everybody really did with the whole movie itself. I think it wasn't too silly. It wasn't too sentimental.
No.
It may not been, and this happens with any movie that's made of, real events. Is they say, well, they didn't stick exactly to the events.
Nobody does. It's Hollywood. I mean, that's just how it is. It's Hollywood.
No, I think they did a nice job. I think he did a nice job. So it's certainly is a film worth watching. It's not boring.
Absolutely. I mean, it won Best Picture, won 4 Academy Awards. I mean, I still argue it probably should have won 5 because I feel like Ben Affleck would have won Best Director if he was nominated, seeing as how he won the Golden Globe, the Directors Guild of America.
Right.
He won all the awards going up to it, and he wasn't even nominated for an Oscar. It was just strange. Like, almost like Hollywood had something against him.
Well,
I mean, he's not Mr. Popular. I know that. But, I mean...
I hate to say this on a show that's called Best Pictures, but I think the Oscars have they're losing their gravitas. It's...
Yeah.
I'm not taking it as seriously. I mean, I know I took the Grammys. I probably gave up on when I was in high school or something.
Oh, yeah.
They made some ridiculous choice, and I was like, never again. I don't follow them. I don't take it seriously.
I don't follow music enough to be interested in watching the Grammys. Like, I couldn't tell you who's hip and
I hate
good.
to say that about the Oscars too, because it's, to me, it carries more weight than the Golden Globes or.
Oh yeah, any award show really.
Right.
But after this year, I'm gonna be like, you know what? I'll give it one more year because I've watched it every year since 1994.
Well, one of the
year.
things, one of the criticisms about this year too, not necessarily the show itself, but the films that won, there was a little bit of, criticism about how politically correct it was. That they felt the need that they had to go outside of, what would you say, white male domination for things. So a woman won Best Director, which hasn't happened, I think they said, since Catherine Bigelow.
I think she's the only one that's ever won is Catherine Bigelow, to my knowledge.
And she won for, what's the name of it?
Jeremy Renner.
With Jeremy Renner, right.
The Hurt Locker.
Hurt Locker, right?
Yeah. Which
But
I didn't like, and you really liked.
I really liked it. And then I liked, I think it was like the next year.
Zero
or next
Dark
2 years.
30.
Zero Dark 30.
I still haven't seen that.
She could have won for that.
That was against Argo.
Right.
She lost to Argo.
Well, I think, it was a year where they had a real competitive movies.
Yeah,
Because you
yeah.
had that, you had Argo. They could have won. Jessica Chastain was probably nominated that
she
year.
was. Yeah, you know who actually won director that year was Ang Lee for Life of Pi.
Life of Pi, right.
Yeah. Also, Lincoln was that year. You had Best Actor was
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis. Yep.
Yeah.
Spielberg was nominated for Best Director. Tommy Lee Jones was nominated for Supporting Actor. Sally Field, Supporting Actress.
Oh, any of those could have won.
I
And
mean,
Sally
that's-
Field, I'll just put in. I don't even know who won. I don't care. Sally Field should have won for that. Incredible performance.
Yeah, I don't remember who won either. I just remember that year. I mean,
I remember leaving the movie thinking, holy Moses,
you got
she just
Lincoln,
blew us away.
Zero Dark 30, Argo. I mean, that was a really good year. That was a very strong year for Best Pictures.
Right.
In acting categories in general. The Life of Pi was nominated.
Yeah. So I think there was that criticism about this being politically correct, that they felt the need that, which is why I think people thought Chadwick Boseman should have won, which he had a really great performance. I haven't
Right.
seen Anthony Hopkins yet, but I've seen Anthony Hopkins enough times to know
He's probably pretty
I'm
good.
excited about it. I want to see him. I wanted to see it before he won the award.
A review I read a few days ago said that they say it's right up there with The Silence of the Lambs as far as his performance, and that's
Right.
That's saying a lot because I mean, I like Brian Cox. I think he's a good actor, but after seeing his performance as Hannibal Lecter versus Anthony Hopkins, there's no comparison.
Right.
Like Anthony Hopkins just I mean, that's why they made Hannibal. Because they're like he was just so good.
Right.
And then they ended up redoing what was it originally called? Manhunter?
Red Dragon, yeah.
Yeah, they made it Red Dragon, but it's the remake of the one with Brian Cox. They said, it's just because Anthony Hopkins was so good, we want to see him do that too. Because that Manhunter, to me, was the scariest of all of them. Like, I was sincerely, scared of the killer, not Brian Cox, but the guy who Ray Fiennes plays in the remake. That guy was creepy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. We didn't really talk about baseball much, but I mean that's we're pretty much out of time.
Are we really? Holy Moses!
Yeah, well,
that went fast.
I talked more about the Oscars than I planned on doing.
Well, let's see. Next week we were going to talk about 80s again.
80s Part 2, and then the week after that is going to be a surprise. It's going to be fun. But this has been the Best Pictures this week. I'm one of your hosts, Joey Powers.
I'm Don Tretler. These are the ones you don't want to miss.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room. Here's Johnny.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.